Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to this edition of Techsavvy. I hope you are in good health and well. At the moment, here in the Pelling household, my daughter and I and my wife are in isolation just at the moment as we're waiting somebody that we worked with that has the COVID. So we're just at the latter end of that. We're all free of it at the moment. So we're grateful for these things. So what I'm talking about this morning is printers. It's probably the second or third most popular technical issue that I get asked about, people not being able to connect their printers. And there's lots of reasons for this. Perhaps the major one is the type of router that you've got for your broadband, especially if it's Wi-Fi. Now, to overcome it, it's always good to have a physical lead connection. And they come in two types. One is a USB lead, which obviously looks like this at one end, and it has a kind of square chunk at the other end. And the other might be a network cable, which looks like a LAN cable. I haven't got one to show you right away here, but that could be another way. But a physical connection really does establish your printer and make it work. So what I'm going to do is just show you how Windows 10 does that. But first of all, we're going to look at some of the main websites of main providers of printers, so you can see where you can go to get help to do this in the most effective way. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and we will explore this together. Share the audio so you won't get lost with us there. So let's start off with HP. So when we come to the HP site, the place I go to is software and drivers or support home. Now, if I click on support home, it will take me to the things that I need. So you can generally find the model. As long as you know the make model, you can get to the printer driver that you're working for. And I would say it's best to use these kind of tools. Also, there is an app that you can use, because one of the things people like to do is to be able to print from their mobile devices. So the device that HP uses has a dedicated website called 123.hp.com. And on that, you can put in the name of your printer, and it'll guide you through a step-by-step of how you can make that printer connect. So that's a very useful website to go to. Another make you might choose is Canon. So again, what I do is I do a search on Google for Canon, and I look for their main website. Here we go, Canon Europe. And when I click on that, you get to this area, okay, which has a strange message at the top. And again, I look for support, and then under support, you will find that there will be an option to download or look at printer drivers. I think you may have seen it under products there, but support, download and help is often better there. And the final one to look at is Epson, one of the popular ones again. And on that, I look again for Epson, go past all the adverts on Google, and then go down and try and find and look at what is the best Epson support. There we are, the word support. So that would be the website I would go to. And again, if you know the model, you can just type it in and it will appear in the support picture here. Product setup, drivers and support. So if you're setting up from scratch, then make use of product support and set it up. And once you've put your drivers in the old days, they used to give you a CD-ROM or a DVD to load up your printer driver from. But nowadays, this is all done online. So it's basically, if you don't know what to do, go to the product maker's website and choose one of those options, especially if it's one of the makes you don't know. And I find particularly useful is using his printer, the maker of the printer. Say it's a Kyocera, very unusual one, Kyocera printer download driver. Sorry, Kyocera printer driver download. So printer driver download is the search command I would use. So what happens next? Well, we connect your printer up either physically or through Wi-Fi, following the wizards that these companies will provide. And what is important now is I'll stop sharing, come back to here, come back to me, so you can see. What I'm going to do now is just show you how you set it up on a Windows 10 machine. So going across to my share window again, and this time I'm going to share my full screen here, and we will have a look at settings. So click on the logo at the bottom of the screen and choose the cogwheel, go to settings and choose devices, because the printer is a device. Click on devices, and if you look down, the second one on the row is printers and scanners. Now I've actually unloaded a printer that I don't use so frequently, so I'm going to see if it'll pick it up. It's my Canon Pixma printer that's in the next door office. So here we go. So I click on add printer and scanner. It will now go and see if it can find it. And I know that IP7200 is a Canon printer. Doesn't say it, but that's what it is. I click on that and you'll see the option add device. I click on that. What I've found in trying to do this on other people's printers is that it sometimes comes up with a message connect with PIN, which is very confusing because that is a Bluetooth aspect to the printer, and some of the printers do work with Bluetooth, which is very, very interesting. Can you see the driver is now loading? And in a minute or two, it will appear in my list of printers and scanners. And that's what you're aiming for. Now, just going back to that Bluetooth aspect, I have yet to find a printer where I found that Bluetooth code. It's usually used under direct printers, and it's like you're setting up a direct link, like you would with your mobile phone, to Bluetooth, to your car or to a speaker or something like that. Very similar. Now, you can see it's ready and it's defaulted to Canon. Well, I don't particularly want that, but it's now added to my list of drivers. I can click on that and I can manage it, and I don't want to set it as a printer that's set as default, so I'll probably take that off in a little while. Okay, so I'll stop sharing now, come back to me here. I hope that was a useful sort of walk around of how you put your printers together. If you're having trouble with your printer driver, then please uninstall anything that you've done. Sometimes you have to communicate with the printer driver, particularly on Wi-Fi, on the actual printer, because it's got a little screen and you have to set up the Wi-Fi using the forward and backward buttons or whatever method it requires to tap in uppercase, lowercase letters. You have to type in the password code of your Wi-Fi, and then it's called a handshake. The printer will then handshake with your Wi-Fi, and then you connect up with that. But that's on a little screen on your printer. Usually on most makes, they'll have that screen for you to sort of follow through. It's a bit of a pain. It uses multifunction buttons, and I hate multifunction buttons because they confuse me endlessly, and certainly my clients as well. And you have to perform some feats of multifunction wizardry to enter those in. So I think the message is, if you're having trouble, get somebody in to help you with that, or try and set it up through the wizard that's provided with the printer. And those that claim to be simply connecting, well, sometimes if it works first time. But if it doesn't, then you may have a problem with your router not accepting the printer on Wi-Fi. but you'll always connect your printer with a cable. So whether it's USB or a LAN cable, you will always get connected. So thank you for watching this episode of Techsavvy. Here's my website, and do go there. We have 3 shows that we run. Techsavvy is one, and the Smiles podcast deals with assistive technology, as does the At Show, which we do infrequently. But thank you for watching. And you might have thought I'd gone away last week, but I was out with a client last Friday, so that's why I didn't do a show. I was out in the field, as they say. So do tune in for next week's Techsavvy. I don't know exactly what we will discuss next week, but I'm sure it will be good. So I'm going to say goodbye for now. Do tune in next time. See you again. Bye for now.